We take you live to Vancouver now, where BC Premier David Eby is providing an update.
The situation has evolved and deteriorated quite rapidly. In just the last hour, we've gone from about 4,500 homes under evacuation to about 15,000 homes, families being evacuated from their homes across the province. We have tens of thousands more across the province on evacuation alert. Tonight, as a result of this rapid deterioration, we are declaring a provincial state of emergency to ensure that we have rapid access to any tools that we may need to respond to this situation. And these tools are necessary to support communities, to support families, and support those brave frontline workers who are battling the fires in our forests and in our communities. There are some steps that British Columbians can take to assist our brave firefighters and our brave first responders. We need British Columbians to stay alert, to be prepared for evacuation warnings and evacuation alerts. If you get an evacuation order, please leave. I spent the day speaking with community leaders, First Nations leadership across the province in affected areas, and one of their core messages is, please don't put firefighters at risk by staying in your home if you're under evacuation order. Please don't travel to affected areas. Only essential travel. We need roads clear for first responders, for emergency crews, for evacuees, and we need accommodation available as well. The situation is unpredictable right now, and there are certainly difficult days ahead. If there's a silver lining here, it's that we know that under stressful times, under difficult circumstances, British Columbians rise to the occasion. British Columbians are generous, compassionate, and resourceful, and we support each other, and we're going to keep doing that work. As a government, we're going to be here to support affected communities and families across the province, those parents who are comforting stressed out kids, those firefighters who are on the front lines, saving homes, saving communities, battling forest fires, those people wondering about what the future is going to look like in the next few days. The government will be there, and British Columbians across the province will be there for you. We can and we will get through this together. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to turn over to the Minister responsible, Bowen Ma.
Thank you so much, Premier, and good evening, everyone. I'm Bowen Ma, Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness, joining you today from the territories of the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh peoples. Before I begin, I'd like to echo Premier Eby and say that our hearts are with all of the people affected by wildfires across BC. And I want to offer my condolences to people who have lost their homes due to the McDougall Creek wildfire near West Kelowna. I'd also like to offer my condolences to people across the province that are facing similar situation. The last 24 hours have been tremendously difficult for many people across British Columbia. And over the last 24 hours, and since I last spoke to you this afternoon, the wildfire situation in BC has rapidly evolved. Approximately 15,000 people are under evacuation order across the province. Approximately 20,000 additional people are under an evacuation alert. The cold front we are experiencing throughout the province has resulted in a rapidly deteriorating situation. There are numerous fires across the province threatening communities. People have been mostly following our call not to travel to certain areas and to stay out of the way of emergency crews so that they can do their jobs. However, we are also seeing more and more people being evacuated, and access to accommodations is increasingly challenging in the interior. We need accommodations available to keep people safe and to house critical response personnel like firefighters and healthcare staff. At this time, we are strongly recommending that people with plans to travel to fire-affected areas throughout the central interior and southeast in the coming days to cancel those plans. We need tourists and travelers to take this situation as seriously as the residents of these areas do. We ask that you please leave accommodation space available to evacuees, emergency personnel, and healthcare workers working across the province. I repeat, Do not travel to wildfire-affected areas for non-essential reasons. By limiting our travel in affected areas, we can make room for those who need it and also ensure that our roads are clear for those who need to evacuate quickly. As Premier Eby mentioned, the first priority of our government is to ensure public safety. We will continue to do everything that we need to safeguard people and protect properties and communities from the threat of wildfire. By declaring a state of provincial emergency, we are able to enact extraordinary powers that, among other tools, could include legally enforceable orders that restrict travel to specific areas if people do not adhere to our calls to avoid non-essential travel to the central interior and southeast. We all have a part to play to protect ourselves, our families, our neighbors, and our communities. This decision to declare a provincial state of emergency was not done lightly. It was made on the advice of emergency management officials and BC Wildfire Service experts. And I am continuing to encourage everyone to please follow the advice of your local government and First Nation. If you are put under an evacuation order, you must leave the area immediately. Evacuation alerts and orders are published on the Emergency Info BC website at emergencyinfobc.gov.bc.ca. Please stay calm, be alert, and be prepared.